Right. In terms of what the arse I was meant to be doing, are you still... The ooze is a problem. Hello, Wilty. A lovely plant for fantastic times. Right, we were... Right, we had a... There was two potential options. Was there not? There's news and there's flowers. Let's... The flower mansion is not going anywhere, so let's tackle the one that's an active... There's an active nuisance going on about it, haven't they?
The COS.io Corporation office building.
Indeed.
It looks like most of the businesses on this block are a part of the same corporate coalition under COS.io.
It is tremendously... Well, it's
at the very
maybe.
least, it means it's unlikely they're the ones interfering with Augmented Eye's articles. Not impossible, but unlikely.
How so?
Generally, the companies in a coalition don't have a whole lot of overlap. Augmented Eye is a news app focused on local tech and culture stories, with an emphasis on hybrids' rights and cybernetics issues. None of the other companies in the coalition cover news, so they aren't related at all, which is very much standard practice for these groups. They have nothing to gain by inviting companies with whom they compete, and thus none of them would benefit by trying to undermine Augmented Eye's credibility as a news source.
Maybe another news outlet, then?
Yes, another news organization would be the most likely culprit here.
Or an individual with silly attacks. What were the news stories about that were... I feel like we're missing some very important context that may or may... I can go up. I can live in the trees. Real roof trees. Look at that. They've committed big crimes. After the Snoofus Union decided, you know what, we're just down for absolute criminal activities right now. The plant is secure. Let's go in then.
The meshnet says Augmented Eye's SF office is run by an individual named Zin, and Tomcat confirmed she's expecting us.
Rightio. Then let's have it.
Keep your other news outlet theory in mind, and we can follow up on it afterwards.
Excellent, yes.
All we have to do now is head up and talk to her.
Then let's go. Big jump.
This time.
I'm not always down for shenanigans, they just happen to be necessary. A little child. Hello? It's an executive snoofus. It's an executive rabbit-looking one of the friends. Hello. Hello, what have you saved for
hello.
it?
Welcome
Yes.
to Augmented Eye. You must be the journalist my network admin said would be showing up.
Yes.
Have a seat.
I am one of
Would you
those.
like a drink?
I would like a drink of lovely... Just a
My
beverage.
assistant will bring it right away.
I think beverage specifically means any drinkable thing that isn't water, so I've said the complete opposite.
Look, I'll start
Yeah,
off
whoa,
by
whoa.
saying I'm a little uncomfortable about bringing in another journalist to look into this.
Your bunny snoot had leg joints go up. I'm just sorry. A new droid was introduced and it's all I can focus on.
Whatever you dig up, I'll have to explain to the rest of the press. But it's still better than the other options.
Yes.
Chances are I have another corporation scoping out my territory.
Oh, shoot them with
If
a
they are from the
crossbow.
coalition, they'll be expecting a corporate spy, not a news hound. If they are in the coalition, it won't look good for me to send in my own reporters against my allies. Even if I do end up being right. So if I'm damned either way, I'd rather it be by the media. At least then we can fight back on a familiar battlefield.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
Now, what do you know about
That's me
our
agreeing.
problem here?
That's me agreeing for Christmas. Someone's been tampering.
That's the long and short of it.
Is there a fire hydrant on your desk? Or one of those martial arts training posts? I'm not sure what you've done there.
My network admin is pulling their hair out over it. I'm not going to pretend I understand everything they say, but from what I understand, the changes to our articles aren't being made from inside our network. The versions on our servers are still the originals, but at some point after they hit
So that you wouldn't
they get
notice.
changed.
The external servers have been scrumbulated.
I'm hoping that you can do some digging. Maybe hit up your contacts and get a lead on who might be doing it.
I'll unbury all of my sources.
Even if
I'll
I have to
exhume
get
them.
answers from the nightly news, it will be a big help.
The nightly news. Right, yes. I need to know the
Mostly
kinds
little
of them.
things. Word choice, tone of the writing, things that make the writer appear more or less extreme on a topic. So far, almost all of the edits seem to be making our articles more positive on new technologies coming out, and more critical of organizations like the Human Revolution. That's actually what tipped us off. A harsh criticism one of my writers made about the Human Revolution protests was changed to be downright vitriolic, and I had a hell of a time putting out the fires. My writers and readers aren't exactly fans of them, but I'd rather not pick fights with the Human Revolution if I don't have to.
Somebody's trying to make you seem silly Billy. In bad faith. So, I mean, I want to know where.
Not really. My admin says that only someone with intimate access to Parallax's network protocols could make these kind of changes as something passes across the net. Personally, I think it's a clever hacker rather than someone inside Parallax itself. The public trust rating of Parallax makes them look like a saint among wolves, so their control over the mesh network provisions is strangling.
I have never heard that expression. I'm not sure what it even implies, but Alright, let's strangle
It's
people
trivially
then.
easy to set up ROMs to use a different OS than Lips or a different meshnet protocol without that trust. Or, Parallax is abusing its power to spread pro-tech propaganda. Doubtful they need to. I'm sure you'll be a good
But they
journo and
always
you
do
have
it.
the right answer.
I'll eat the answers correctly.
I guess I'm not, but my network admin assures me it's all coming from somewhere else. They told me that they tore out all of the routers that broadcast to the mesh and replaced them with fresh ones. All kinds of tricks involving IP addresses and DNS changes that I'm not going to even begin to claim to understand. I pay them big bucks, so I'm inclined to believe them unless you dig up something that tells me otherwise.
The largest coins in the market.
I know tin hat conspiracies aren't an ideal start, but it's the best we can do with the info we have.
I'd have preferred another type of hat that doesn't actually
Anything else
reflect
I
the
can
mind
tell you
control
off the
rays.
record? If you want it on the record, it'll cost you your firstborn and a really good cigar.
I was gonna continue my train of thought about how if somebody uses the mind control beam inside me, it's a cyberpunk future so that I can actually trace it back to its origin. But you've threatened a child. You threatened to smoke my child just there, and I don't know if why is anyone?
Alright, look. I wasn't going to tell you this. If it gets out, I'd have to answer some really hard questions.
Like, what's 2 times 3? the number 6 was lost to history at this point, which is really fucking awkward because the number 6 appears in the year this is set. So, like, really nobody knows what the fuck's going on at any hour of any day.
So, you didn't hear this from me?
Because it's always 6 o'clock as well.
Check out TMI Entertainment and Charlie Nova.
Charlie Nova. Charlie Nova is my nemesis from back when the pictures wouldn't stop blinking at me.
That's all I'll say. And remember, you take a bite out of him with my name as your defense, I drop you fast.
But I might die.
Like what? There isn't much more I can tell you about Augmented Eye, really. It's a fairly simple and straightforward operation, if I say so myself. We started off
You
in
say
Venezuela
that like
as sleek
like a
current
fool,
events and news
like you're
articles
fooling me somehow.
almost 10 years ago now. We focus on more in-depth reporting of on-the-street happenings, on top of major news. We're one of the few good ones left. Once folks in other cities saw the type of reporting we do, they all clamored for it. They invested in the right places, and it paid off. COS-IO Corp is happy to have us here in the OSF. It wasn't until hybrid tech started hitting the public sphere that we had to make any changes to our model.
Not the public sphere! The only orb we could all access, and you've started throwing people at it to get genetic treatments.
All of that said, I can't
The
see why
Neo
anyone would do
SF
this.
Committee
Unless
for
they're just
Public
trying to
Pondering
embroil us in a mudslide
put
with
that
the
there
Peddle
with the
rebels, and
explicit
there are much more
instruction,
direct ways
don't
to
throw
do it.
gene splicing research at this. Do you realise how far out of your way you had to go? What? I don't trust, I guess.
What? Not wanting to answer prying questions from my coalition board isn't a good enough reason?
Evidently not, because I
I'd
had no other
really
option.
Like to avoid that. And look, you've covered culture wars, right? My journalists are
Everyone's favourite cooking
but
show.
they're mostly good at gadget reviews, implant releases, not taking too many stims so they remember what they did at raves for the after-party reports. This needs an investigative journalist with serious contacts, not tech personalities. The fact that my network admin recommended you to me means you probably know the right people. Now, does that cover it? I'd like to remove my nose from your ass.
Why was it there? Oh, right, I understand what you're saying now.
In hindsight, I probably should have been a bit more circumspect about speaking to you.
What was I not bothering? I didn't read what I just said, so I have absolutely no idea what I have
Plausible
just...
deniability and all that. I won't ask you to lie in anything you write, but do remember you got in contact with me not even secondhand, but third-hand. I certainly didn't sick you on anyone. Wink wink, nudge nudge, or whatever.
You can nudge me as many times as you can wink, but the
If you need
truth
anything
is,
else, have your
I
person
have
get
no
you that
idea.
person.
I've already
Don't
forgotten
call
what
me
I'm
a
doing
director.
for you. Right,
Now, I'd show you the door, but you know the way.
I've already
And
eaten it.
This isn't the only fire I'm trying to put out. Good luck, and goodbye.
I'd like to take your funny droid. No!
Well, that was more confrontational than I'd have expected, considering she was the one needing help.
I didn't even get to scoop up the bun bus.
She never brought you that water either.
I'd completely forgotten about that. Good catch.
Is it always like this?
Some people just don't give me the respect and or glass of water that I deserve. Secrets are expensive. Let's... Yes.
Very true. I will admit that I am interested in the possibility of a link back to Parallax.
The latest
If all
Legend of
this
Zelda
really is
game.
due to somebody manipulating the mesh net on the inside, it may give us the leverage we need to find out what happened to Hayden once and for all.
That's true. If we can make a connection... Oh, can we fabricate a connection as pretext to eat all of their server data?
That said, I will take care not to get my hopes up.
That's all fair enough and well.
We should make no assumptions when investigating, lest we lead ourselves down a false path.
The false path of sump.
Anyway,
She'll
seems like
really
our next
make you a
step is-
grump.
What the?
What? Something's happening really slowly. Glass. Jesus Christ, that took a turn. Someone's already murdered.
She was defenestrated.
That is accurate.
Emergency services are already on the way, and we are severely ill-equipped to help her. We should head back to her office and see if we can determine what happened here.
Somebody's
Perhaps
must have
we
left a
can
naughty
still
clue.
dispense justice. This is how we dispense justice, right?
Go into someone's office, get the clues, find out who flung them. Yeah, that's mostly the purpose. Who are you? Your face is a perfect square. I can't examine the people. All right, we're just assuming they weren't involved.
It looks like the desk has been
The rabbit!
cleared
The
off.
rabbit's gone! Oh,
Let's take a look around, but be
it
careful
wanted
not
a
to disturb
scoop
any
and you
evidence.
didn't allow it happen. You
The
never
police
got
will
them
be
the
here
water. Right, the police will... Right, monitor... That's just...
Her personal computer is not password protected at the moment.
Good! Steal all of her Bitcoin!
Best to keep your fingerprints off of the keyboard.
Good idea.
Most of this isn't very interesting. Committee reports, financials, article submissions.
Is there a folder marked recent crimes? It's probably in there.
Oh, here we go.
Yes!
According to this email between Zin and her network admin, her lead on TMI Entertainment is a little more solid than she led us to believe.
Oh, hey ho.
Admin ran a web crawler looking for changes in writing styles. Some blog posts by their head anchor Charlie Nova stood out like a sore thumb. Apparently he's a bit pompous, if in an affable way, and his blog usually just details his day-to-day life. But ever since the human revolution has been in town, he's been smearing them with more venom than you'd expect, considering how neutral his on-air reporting has been.
Somebody's making you stand for something against your will, and they're using venom to do it.
Zin seemed to think he was just complaining about the protesters fouling up traffic, and whoever is manipulating these posts spun it to make him look critical of the movement as a whole. Just like the Augmented Eye journalist. This
Okay.
Charlie fellow is the one we need to talk to.
Is Charlie gonna die as well? Please. I've still not... No! That's the... No! I thought that was just a hole in the desk. It is in fact the droid.
Even a ROM like that doesn't deserve an end like this.
Beg pardon? What did you have against a ROM like that, exactly? What's the... Right, yeah, there's evidence. I want more evidence, though. What's... Video games? Right, you're a tech place.
My thermal sensors only detect a single set of lingering footprints, and they end almost 3 feet away from the window. Considering the density of this glass, I can't imagine Zin jumped from that far and managed to throw herself through the pane without help.
Somebody must have helped her
Who'd
jump.
done it? I don't see any obvious marks on the floor. Or
Legs
any other
Mackenzie.
thermal hotspots.
What if the ROM spontaneously exploded and propelled her really fast?
It doesn't look like it.
There's a joust. There's a joust in the room.
We should go.
That
There
bloody
isn't
arcade
anything
game's
else
killing
here.
people in the real
He's
world.
Almost on the scene.
Son of a...
Don't talk about my son.
I should have figured the two of you would be here.
You can't blame us every time someone gets flung out a window.
You just won't stay out of trouble no matter what I say, will you?
I wasn't related this time for it. Thank you, it's complete coincidence.
I assure you, Detective Rivers, we are merely in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Or the right time if you want to solve crimes the fun boy way. I've got a coin that I flipped to determine who did it.
Possible lead and found her office in this state of disrepair.
Of course you did. Damn it.
It's a shame.
Fine. Get the
Yes.
hell out of here before anyone else shows up. We'll chat about the case more when I'm not busy scraping bodies off the pavement. You hear me?
Very well.
Certainly, Detective Rivers.
Good luck with your
I'll
spatulas.
forward you a report of what we know immediately, and we can speak further at a later time.
Yeah, whatever. Get moving.
Are we gonna... Oh, there's many! Did you light it, Lexi? I don't think you lied at any point. You just didn't divulge the entire truth.
It doesn't matter anyway. Detective Rivers has every bit of information that Zinn gave us on that computer. Her investigation will not be hampered by our absence, whereas ours is halted if we're stuck giving answers she can just as well get from a hard drive.
True.
Has it occurred to you that whoever threw Zinn out of that window could be after the same thing we are, except to silence the story rather than to get it out? We have little time for fooling about and must get to Charlie Nova before something happens to him too. I have highlighted the main Neo-SF offices for TMI Entertainment on your map.
Tell you what, split the difference. How about we arrive as something is happening to him? I hold this
Let's
grudge. Let's go! Map. There we are. There we are, hello. That's the...
I hope some pity for me still remains, considering my recent tone, because I'm honestly not sure where we should start. I suppose we should just ask the receptionist to point us to somebody who can answer our questions.
Yes. Do you know anything about Charles?
Honestly, you do have your own mesh access, yes? I'm quite certain you can handle all the casual searches you might feel like making. We hardly have time for me to blather out every bit of exposition you desire when you could just go look it up on your own.
They're being ha-ha, because that's what you usually do in the game that this is.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just a bit on edge. Things are barreling out of our control, and I'm taking it out on you.
You didn't say that like it was a revelation so much as it was like, this is my course of action. This is my game plan right now.
Forgive me. Let me pull up the information you requested.
What do you know about the
Charlie
truth?
Nova is TMI Entertainment's most popular TV personality. He's gotten consistently high ratings for almost a decade and isn't afraid to tell you about it. The chatter on the mesh paints him as a bit arrogant, but in that loud, backslapping kind of way that a media star can get away with. He's best known for hosting Star in the Stratosphere. It's one of those talent-seeking reality programs. Apparently, when TMI can't organically discover enough celebrities, they just manufacture them. Oh, and also, according to this blog, Charlie's hair is flawless.
Good. That's probably gonna play into the truth, isn't it?
TMI Entertainment is a relatively popular celebrity and gossip news
Someone's
conglomerate.
gonna be
They own
claiming to
OK
be him.
Today.
Someone's gonna be claiming to be him, but they're not gonna have flawless hair, and that's gonna be how the ruse is rumbled.
They did a good job transitioning from the traditional media models of television and news to the net-based model prevalent now, pioneered by their digital newspaper, OK Today's The Scanline. Some might call their programs rags, but opinion on the mesh seems more favorable than not. They stick to mostly good-natured prying and lean away from the seedier nastiness that paparazzi can get up to.
Mostly good-natured prying is an
As
interesting
such, they
turn
have
of
a
phrase.
positive relationship with many celebrities and regularly get exclusive scoops that keep their ratings up.
Scoops?
Despite their refusal to peddle in the darker side of the celebrity news circuit.
Oh, the image you've introduced into my brain with the phrase "peddle in the dark side." It's like it's this big televised, like inexplicably the Sith are doing a charity event, right? And Palpatine's on his three-wheel bicycloder, just going, doing his "I'm afraid the deflector shield would." Whoa, that's him wobbling a bit on the bike because he's not used to it, right? I don't even know if regular type bicycles even happened in the space. Do we? Because they probably had some sort of weird hovering equivalent. But Darth Maul's on his BMX nonetheless. He knows how to do it. He goes, "I'm here, and I've got two of them." Not bicycles. He's only got the one BMX bike, but he's got the double-bladed lightsaber, and they need to keep reminding you of that. Because it's really fun to look at that one time. Do you remember? Do you remember before every fifth sword had something weird about it? Anyway, what am I? Hello? You are the receptionist. Oh, thinking about it, it might actually be time to end. We'll investigate what's up with Charles Nova this day on the next day. So not this day at all, I've already lied to you. I'm keeping you off balance. So, tune in next time for more tests of wit, when I will solve a crime. Oh yes, see you then.